difficult question because if you look at the evidence available to us, we remember how the MPP was also equally very eager in 2017 when they took office. We even had a ban on small-scale mining from 2017 July right up to 2018 end of the year, and we even got drones, all of that. We started talking about tagging, geotagging, excavators. We even had Galam Stop. All of these ideas were in the face. So, I mean, I don't want to believe that now the new government is also showing us that they are committed and all of that, and then get to the fourth or third year, all the confidence, all the commitment wanes. I mean, this is where I am. You know, but you asked about confidence. The president, proud to he taking office, did make certain commitment. And I think if you also recall, the Ghana Coalition Against Galamsey also committed him to by signing a pact to really address Galamsey head on. And so we think that he has a lot to show us, a lot in terms of legacy, in terms of what needs to be done, and he demonstrated that he was going to do it. I must say, His Excellency President Mahama has a lot to do now, because I recall this whole Galamsey thing got out of hand during his tenure. I mean, from 2012 coming to 2016, it got really out of hand then. And then going to 2017, there was a new government. We expected some real good action to deal with it. We didn't see us as it really got worse towards the end of 2024. And so I think that His Excellency President Mahama has a lot to do now, rally all his ministers and also everybody in government to make sure that we deal with this. So in terms of, I'll be very cautious about it now. I'm not going to say I have full confidence yet. I need to see the actions on the ground before we can say, yes, this government, it means business. Until we see that, it's going to be very, and it's also early days here to say they really mean what they are saying.
Now, one very critical thing we have to look at is the role of the media.
Yeah.
You know, we play a very critical role in ensuring, I mean, for us at Channel One, we have launched a whole campaign on illegal mining. Now, last week, our correspondent was attacked.
Yeah.
Moving on in this fight, what recommendations would you give the government and security agencies to ensure that journalists are very safe in carrying out our duties?
Yeah, I think right now, for me, what I am very happy to see is that the sector minister, Honorable Boa, has indicated his support for the media, and so maybe we need to see some sort of protection being given to the media when they are going on site with them to report on what is happening, and maybe the ministry can take lead on that. So I think also the media agencies should take note and maybe get some police teams to accompany them as they move to site. And like you said, media is also very important, because even the narrative around how people are doing Galamsey, how they perceive Galamsey, the issue about job for the boys and all of that, it is the media that can change that. So we need to first of all protect the media before we can get that kind of result as we seek. And we had issues with, Erastos and some other members, and now this issue. So it's really an issue of concern, and I'm very happy the minister has acknowledged it's a very sensitive issue. The previous government really was silent about these issues. To see the sector minister speak about this, for me, is very good and something we should all take seriously. So the media agency should really, jump on this and work with it. So should the ministry also support the media as it go out into the field.
Very well, Deputy Director Arocha Ghana. Darryl, thank you very much.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Now, moving on, the Deputy Minister Designate for the Finance Ministry, Thomas Nyako, has revealed that the opposition to tax waiver request for companies under the One District, One Factory policy was a unanimous decision by the Finance Committee. According to Ampim, the rate at which tax exemptions were being granted was alarming and lacked fair procedure, a concern shared by the minority members of the Finance Committee at the time. He made this known during his vetting by the Appointments Committee of Parliament.
The former minority leader, Dr. Kasia Latoforsen, stated that the minority group of the 8th Parliament saved Ghana $150 million by challenging the government's tax waiver for 42 companies under the One District, One Factory initiative. He explained that due to the minority's oppositions to some of the assessments of the companies, the exemptions were revised from $459 million to $335 million, which actually failed to secure approval before the end of the 8th Parliament. At his vetting by the Appointments Committee of Parliament, Thomas Nyako Ampim stated that the opposition to the tax exemption request was by a consensus.
We are not against 1D, 1F, but we realized that the rate at which tax exemptions were being given out was alarming, and also we did not feel that there was a fair and scientific approach in selecting companies that would come under the 1D, 1F exemption regime. The opposition to the 1D, 1F towards the end of the last parliament was not something that only our side stood against. There were some people on your side who agreed with us. So I thought that it was something in the interest of Mother Ghana that we felt that we should object to this. On the committee, discussions that went on, we know that it wasn't like on party lines. We thought that we built consensus, and a lot of members on both sides agreed that some of the 1D, 1F exemption requests could not be granted.
Following the suspension of funding from the U.S. aid, the Deputy Minister for Finance designate Thomas Nyako Ampim stressed the need for Ghana to wean itself of aid.
Aid to our country has been dwindling over the years. Danida is no longer supporting programs in Ghana as they used to. United Kingdom, for instance, has reduced their aid budget from I think 0.75% of GNP to 0.5%. This should tell us that it will get to a time that aid to our country will dwindle probably to zero. We have seen the trend that aid is dwindling, and so it is important that we begin to plan our lives without aid and see what we can do for ourselves.
The Minister-designate for Public Sector Reforms, Lamisi Akan-Variba, also appeared before the Appointments Committee for vetting. She called for national dialogue on public sector recruitments.
It is about engagement, it's about understanding the issues, it's about we having a collective agreement as to how we recruit people into our services. That would help us.
The Deputy Minister-designate for Education, Energy, Food and Agriculture are expected to appear before the Appointments Committee tomorrow, Tuesday, 25th February 2025 for vetting. Reporting for ChannelOne News from Parliament, Ni Ayukwe Okai.